Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. The truckers are heading down. A big convoy of truckers are coming down, and we don't know the exact amount, but this is a cavalcade, a huge cavalcade, according to the Daily Mail. They're going to come to Eagle Pass, Texas, Yuma, Arizona, San Ysidro, California, all the hot spots where the illegals are invading us. And Joe Biden gave us till today. We have till today. So tomorrow, what? Or else what? Is he going to come arrest us? The Border Patrol saying tonight, this was new this evening, that they are not going to, they have no plans to remove the razor wire that we have set up. So I think what's going to happen is they're trying to say the only time we are going to do something like this is if there's illegals that are drowning. But we will continue to fight back, and we're going to continue to put the border wire up. Here is our Lieutenant Governor, Lieutenant Governor Patrick, Dan Patrick on the border today.
The Supreme Court's ruling didn't say we had to take this down. It just said they could cut it. So they can cut it all they want. We're going to replace it. This is working. And in this park, there were thousands and thousands of people crossing every day. Thousands. I just checked. No one's crossed today. We got it covered. Mr. President, you say you want to secure the border. Texas has secured it. Leave it alone.
There you go. Now, one of our congressmen, Keith Self, from this great state of Texas, he says hundreds, possibly thousands. Actually, that's Daily Mail. It says hundreds, possibly thousands of big rigs. That could be huge. Meanwhile, Speaker Mike Johnson says this absolute joke of amnesty that Joe Biden is trying to foist on us is dead on arrival. We're not even considering it. It won't be. We've told you for 9 months. 9 months ago, we passed a bill that literally takes care of all this. You and your Senate won't have it. You won't hear it. That's the only thing we passed that we will take. If you don't want it, too bad. Joe, let me tell you this. I was explaining this to my 20-year-old son who follows politics, but not nearly as much as I do. And I said to him, here's what Joe Biden's done. For 3 years, he has made this massive cudgel. And I've been saying this on the air for 3 years, that he has been allowing millions and millions. It's now 9 million. Plus, actually, the number of gotaways that have invaded us in 3 years is actually about to hit, according to former head of Border Patrol, Tom Holman of ICE. Tom Holman said today that, in fact, we're about to hit 2 million gotaways. And we have 800 a day. And we just got the numbers in for December. The December numbers. So we now have a second month in a row of 300,000 illegals invading us in 2 months. It is the highest November and December and highest numbers on record ever. 2 months in a row, 300,000 illegals invading us. So no, there's no deal. It is this stupid amnesty that they want to give literally allows 5,000 illegals to come into our country a day, which is 150,000 a month. That's more than double what Trump had in his worst month. His worst month was 70,000. This is no, hard no. And by the way, Ukraine funding's in there? Get out of here, loser. No, you don't get it. And by the way, we are winning. We have, as you know, 25 total states backing us now, and we are winning. This is what the country wants. These are the optics. Cameras are there. We're ready to rock and roll. I got a few questions for you. I want you to chime in right now. Do you want Republicans to pass the bipartisan border bill that's being proposed? And do you want the 24 other states, or 25, depending on what the count is, do you want all these other states that are backing us to send in this border invasion, to send down their guardsmen and state troopers to stand with us at the border? Do you want that now? I do. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. And by the way, depending on which experts you listen to, some say we're going to lose on this ultimately from the Supreme Court. Some say we're going to win or we have a good chance. Does it matter to you? Does it matter to you if we win at the Supreme Court on this or not? It doesn't to me. The fact is, stand. So do you want Republicans, time for you to sound off right now, do you want Republicans to pass the bipartisan border bill that's being proposed? You want the 24 other states backing the governor and standing with us in the invasion? Do you want them to send down their troopers and guardsmen? And does it matter if we don't win the Supreme Court case to you or not? To me, it's irrelevant. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I want to hear from you. So we have a lot of stuff going on here. We got with the border. We have folks like the Wall Street Journal telling us this is a border reckoning today in their editorial board. Trump is trying to torpedo any agreement. They're saying Trump did it. And Mitch McConnell said that Trump called him and said, you better not take this. And Mitch said publicly, because he wants to throw Trump under the bus, that he's the next, he's a presidential candidate and everybody knows it. So therefore, for the Republican side, I'm not going to dispute him. Look, we're not going to lose. The Journal is wrong. This is a milquetoast crap deal. I don't want it. Do you? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP. Sound off now. The Journal says by giving up on border security bill or giving up on the bill would be a self-inflicted GOP wound. Biden would claim Republicans want border chaos as the election issue. He already has. He already is. I'm not letting that clown do it. He did this. He made a 11 million population cudgel invade us, and now he's beating us with that mallet of 11 million people. He's beating us with it all the way down. That's what he's doing. We've got 3 lines open now at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. I want to also tell you about this. Can Joe Biden, can he take over the Texas National Guard? That's a big question, a big question. Title 10, which is what he would use, which is what we would use, will only supersede Title 32 in a national emergency. In this case, Biden would have to activate the Texas National Guard to guard the border. Otherwise, it's unlawful. If he activates us, he can only do that if he declares an emergency. If he declares an emergency, he admits then there's a national emergency. That's what he has to do. And so I don't think he'll ever do it. He's never going to take over our guard. Stand freaking firm. No deal. The whole country knows how bad this is. Delilah in Dallas, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Delilah.
Hey. Love the show. I listen to you like every night.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to say that it's so funny how, like, American citizens, it's so hard for us to leave and come back into, like, our homeland than it is for illegal immigrants just to come on through, and they're even treated better than our American citizens.
You don't have to get a COVID shot if you're an illegal, but if you come here legally, you do. You cannot come here legally and do that. It's literally what the protocols are if you want to come here legally. When you arrive, you have to have a COVID vaccine. Right now still, which is a freaking joke. I wouldn't take that if somebody had a gun to my head. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's just, the whole situation is just ridiculous. We need to worry about who we have in America first before we worry about other people that aren't even born here.
What do you think about this deal? People say, hey, we're never going to get a deal like this. John Cornyn loves it. Oh, John Cornyn loves it. We're never going to get a deal like this again. It'll stop. It'll change the asylum rules. Apparently it will, but that's not the problem, is it?
No, it's not the problem.
Okay, so you don't want the deal.
I mean, I feel like at this point, the deal, it could happen, but I don't think that actual change is going to happen. Just like the laws we have now are not being enforced. I feel like just because they signed this deal doesn't mean it's going to be enforced.
Not only that, but it allows 5,000 illegals a day, which means 150 a month, which is more than double what Trump had in 1 month, in his worst month. He had 70,000. So how is that a deal? Getting more than double what Trump allowed in his worst month, or had let in by act. He didn't want it, but he allowed in 1 month. That's a deal. We're supposed to get excited about this.
Right, and it's like, it's not even a deal. It's not.
And if the only time we would shut the border down, by the way, Delilah, thank you for your call. We've got 3 lines open now at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. The only way that they would actually kick in and stop the flow of the illegals is if more than 5,000 come in for longer than 7 days. They will allow 8,000 for 4 days, stop it, bring it down to 5 or to 4, and then go back to 5. This is a game. It's a joke, and I'm taking a hard pass. No way in heck. Do you want Republicans to pass the bipartisan border bill that we're talking about that's being proposed? Do you want the 24 other Republican states that are backing Governor Abbott and standing with him to send down their guardsmen and state troopers, as I do? And does it matter to you? And by the way, you did hear in Fox News at the top of the hour that some of these governors are offering to send their folks down to the border. Please do it now, y'all. Does it matter whether or not we win at the Supreme Court? Not to me. It doesn't matter. Let's fight all the way through. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. You get to laugh at KJP and her defense of this garbage. Coming up next on The Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
We will not shy away from calling out what we see as political games from the governor because it is not safe. It does not protect our communities. And that's who he cares about. He cares about the people of Texas. What we're seeing from Governor Abbott, you've heard me say this over and over again, they're making harder. They're making it harder. He's making it harder for Border Patrol to do their jobs. They need access. And right now, they don't have that. And it's under the Constitution of the United States that federal law is the supreme law of the land.
So KJP knows what's best. Joe Biden knows what's best. And they care for Texans. They care for Texas. Now, haven't we elected Governor Abbott 3 times now? I don't think it was 2. I think it's 3 now. Double check. I think it's 3. I lose track. We're one of the states, obviously, where you can reelect somebody a long time. And I'm going to guess it's his 3rd term that he's recently begun. He's checking right now. 2nd or 3rd term. Anyways, the point being is this clown is going to tell us that Joe Biden cares for the people of Texas and somehow that our governor, who we keep reelecting, doesn't care for us as much as Joe does. Yeah, 3rd time. I thought so. Thank you. It's so long I can't recall anymore. I'm like, I don't know. I found a picture of me and him together at an event, and it's a really nice one. I should put it up. It's been a long time since I had that one up. I love how she says that Biden cares, but inferring that somehow Abbott doesn't. And we're too stupid to see that the guy we keep reelecting 3 times in a row doesn't care for us like Joe does. Oh, Joe, we didn't elect him either, obviously. So there you go. Fun stuff, y'all. Isn't it fun stuff? Okay, I want you to chime in now. Do you want Republicans to pass the bipartisan border bill that's being proposed? Do you want the 24 other states that are backing Governor Abbott and standing against Biden's invasion to send down their guardsmen and state troopers to stand with us at the border like I do, like right now? And I don't want this joke deal that if you pull your head out of your rump, you don't want this deal. And does it matter? Even if we don't win at the Supreme Court on this, it doesn't matter to me at all. Not at all. I have some breaking news to share with you as well. I'll give you that coming up at 8:30 on this. But first, let's go to Andrew in South Lake. You're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for taking the call.
Welcome, brother. Thank you for calling.
So on your questions, number one, if Trump's against it, I'm against it. It's, he knows better. On the second one, if those states will send down their troopers, that's great. We need all the help we can get. But on the other part that's most important, those same states should be collecting up their illegal aliens and sending them to Joe. Just send them to D.C., fill up D.C. with 10 million illegals and see how it goes.
I think that would be great. Now, I want to say this about Trump. I am voting for him. I support him. But everything he says doesn't, I won't say he knows more than me as far as, like, I might disagree with him on things I do. But that's the only thing I would take note of. But you can feel that way. I don't. But I do like a lot what he does. So I appreciate your call, Andrew.
Thanks.
Thank you, buddy. All right, let's go to Mike in Louisville. You're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Chris, I'm Mike Guess, the guy who sends you all the memes. Just on the basis of Ukraine funding, what does Ukraine funding have to do with our border? What they're trying to cram the Ukraine into every possible bill. Just based on that, I say no. And I don't care about the Supreme Court because this administration doesn't care what the Supreme Court thinks. Why should we?
Yeah, I agree. You're 100. Oh my gosh, yeah, they vilify it. They want to pack it. They think it's illegitimate. You're good. You're right. That's great. That's great. Now, we will obey, unlike them, though. But I like how you're using their logic and saying, well, screw them. So yeah, absolutely. Now, the governors, you're saying you back them and you want their folks.
Absolutely. We need as much help as we can get down here.
Now, we need some help down here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So if they want to help, why not accept that support? And I want their National Guardsmen as well as their troopers down here.
Now, right?
Yes, absolutely. We can't wait.
I agree, my friend. I appreciate your call. Have your sound off right now. Call in 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Lines wide open for you at this point. I want to also give you a little bit more on this. The FBI, there's a whole bunch of former FBI top people, including the former Assistant Director of Intelligence and Deputy Director of National Counterterrorism, former Assistant Director of Criminal Division, former Assistant Director Counterintelligence, former Director Terrorist Screening Center, former Assistant Director and Acting Commissioner of the Homeland Security's Customs and Border Protection, retired Assistant Director for the Inspection Division in the FBI. All these people, guess what? They're all saying they sent a letter to the FBI, to Congress, warning them of alarming and perilous happenings because of this right now. That just went to hit the news today. Their language affirms that Christopher Wray, what he said, that security lights are blinking red, flashing red everywhere. The FBI guys wrote about this. The retired FBI guys said this is an invasion of military-age men from countries or regions not friendly to the United States. It is difficult, they said, to overstate the danger represented here. And Biden's open border policies are increasing the risk of terrorist attacks on U.S. soil. And they also said they are not just from terror-linked regions, but also from China and Russia, as well as hostile adversaries of the United States with aspirations to devastate national infrastructure. The terrorist attack that's going to happen, the few people have been in already for a few months or a few years under Joe Biden's wide open borders, and everybody knows it. We all know it. And Joe and the Democrats will lie and cover up, say it's Trump's fault, but it's Joe's fault. He let him in. All right, I'm going to share another point on this coming up next. You're going to hear another gem from KJP, plus your call coming in at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Oh, I have a breaking piece of news on the border, coming in from one of the correspondents there on the border. All that's coming up next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP. And by the way, Trump and that order of like $83 million to pay from that woman who is a clown, a nut job. Yeah, we're going to get into that coming up next, too, on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Does the president have any response to at least 25 Republican governors signing a joint statement?
How many governors in that letter?
I believe it's 25.
25 governors. I would say to them that are they? You said Republican governors?
Yes.
Can't talk.
Are they? I would say, are they Republican? So that's what you think. Oh, let's play politics because I don't know. Half the country, 25 governors are standing against the president. That's half the country. Are they Republicans? That's all she can come up with on the fly. That's how bad she is at her job. I mean, I don't care how left or right you are. That's incompetency, but she's perfect for us because she shows how incompetent her boss is. He hired her not because she's good, but because of her phenotypical characteristics, her looks. Her immutable characteristics. That's not how you hire people. You hire who's the best for the gig. Okay, unless you're Joe Biden. Okay, this from the border. This coming in from reporter on the border, Allie Bradley. Attorney General Ken Paxton's response to DHS and their demands to get in access to Shelby Park at Eagle Pass. Paxton makes a list of counter demands. By February 15th, DHS must supply the official plat maps and deeds demonstrating the precise parcels to which they claim ownership. Yes! Ha ha ha! An explanation of how Texas is preventing access to these specific parcels, documentation showing the Eagle Pass or Texas ever granted permission for DHS to erect infrastructure that interferes with the border security, and proof of Congress empowering DHS to turn a Texas park into an unofficial and illegal point of entry. Freaking men. That's why I like Ken Paxton. Also, he says if the federal government is going to make such claims, it must provide proof. There you go. There you go. Document it. And I couldn't agree more. Document it. Show us. Where's the evidence? It's all BS. It's political, not legal, and what's best for this country and what's best for us as far as protecting the nation from an invasion. I want you to chime in right now. We've got 3 lines open for you at 800-288-WBAP. That's 800-288-9227. Do you want Republicans to pass the bipartisan, quote-unquote, garbage border bill that's being proposed? And do you want the 24 other states that are backing Governor Abbott and standing against the Biden border invasion to send down their guardsmen and state troopers to stand with us at the border now, as I do? And lastly, does it matter if we don't win at the Supreme Court on this? 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. Sound off right now on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Roxanne, you're live from the great city of Lampasas in Central Texas on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Yes.
Hi, Chris.
How are you?
Hey, I'm wonderful. I love your show.
Thank you.
So listen,
I do too, by the way.
I know. You're so good at it.
Thank you. Oh, I was just kidding about it. Go ahead.
So I can't stand KJP. John Cornyn has overstayed his welcome. And yes, all the governors need to send whatever help they can.
All right, so you want that massive amount of them coming down. So you want maybe 20 troopers per state and maybe 50 guardsmen per state or something like that.
Heck yeah.
That would be so...
Texas. This is time for Texas to take a stand. I mean, this is BS.
You know what? We're winning. We're kicking their butts in this. The Border Patrol already said today that they have no plans to remove the razor wire set up. Their whole thing is, well, if there's an emergency, like what? Like the one that happened. You found out that they were dead an hour before you got the call.
Exactly.
You're going to rescue a dead body that Mexico found and dragged over to their side? Go to the port of entry. Go over to the port of entry like the illegals are supposed to go, like Joe doesn't want them to go at. Go to the port of entry, walk across, and pick up the bodies if you want to. But they're not even citizens of the United States, and they died on the river, and Mexico took them.
They would probably send their bodies back, paid by the taxpayers too, I'm sure.
Give them a hero's funeral there in D.C. at the Arlington Memorial Cemetery, maybe, Anyways. That's the kind of thing he would... Anyways, go ahead, Roxanne. Go ahead. You have any more on that, or are you good?
Yeah, I was going to tell you something. Today I was driving over to my folks' house. I live in Lampasas, and my folks live about 15 miles towards Fort Hood, Texas. And anyway, so I'm driving down the road, and I see this decked-out Hummer, right? I'm thinking, okay. And behind it, I see like 8 white transport vans, new government-type transport vans, unmarked. And I thought, well, okay, this is odd. And then it occurred to me as like, well, 183 and 281 go straight through Lampasas. So either, you're going to take 183 to Austin or you're taking 281 to go south San Antonio, i.e., the border. And then tonight,
were they heading southbound or northbound?
They were heading east to go to 183 and 281. And the
which eventually would take them north to Austin, you said, or to south below? South to 35 to San Antonio. Gotcha. Go ahead.
Yeah, both of them go south. 183 and 183 will take you to Austin, and 281 will take you down south past San Antonio to.
Gotcha. Yeah, I realize you're in Central Texas, but you're north of Austin. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, exactly. And anyway, so I was like, well, that's odd. And tonight when I was coming back, I was passing through. What was it? It was probably about 8 unmarked white buses. They weren't government buses. They're private buses. They're not Greyhound and Airways or whatever. And I mean, it was like, okay, there's something in the movement. There's something moving. I just don't know what it is.
Were any of these vehicles heading south or north or anything? Were they loaded with illegals or were they empty?
Well, of course, the windows are pretty much blacked out. They're dark.
Okay.
And it was in the evening. I couldn't see if there was anybody in there or not.
All right, so you're thinking it's for the illegals. I mean, there's so much. Listen, we had a Southwest Airlines, flight attendant call in the other day, and she said that half the flights coming from McAllen and Brownsville and El Paso types are half full with the illegals. I mean, half of them. I got to go, Roxanne, but thank you very much. Ken in Arlington, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and 99, now on FM at 93.3. Hello.
Hey, I Googled, in a state of an emergency, does the governor of Texas have a right to close the state? And it popped up. And I could read it to you. I'm going to either have to...
Tell me what you read, just truncated. I want you to read it to me. Just tell me what the thing is. You said that if he can close the state?
Yeah, if there's a state... Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay. State of emergency.
Don't read it. Just tell me what you read in a second. I don't want you to read it and get boring here. Just tell me what it read. Your take from it is.
One is a riot or unlawful assembly by 3 or more persons acting together by use of force or violence.
You're reading it. You're just saying that if you get people there that are coming in like that, they can be stopped.
Right, and I'm reading it straight off the Texas governor website. 2, if clear...
No, I just told you I don't want to read the whole thing. Just tell me what the gist of it is, and you're not doing that. You're just reading it. Just say, basically, what are you saying? The governor can do what?
Can close the whole state. If there's a state of emergency, the government close the whole state if there's a threat in the state.
Interesting. You know how he closed the coming in and out, what do you call it, the ports, right. And he, Joe Biden didn't want to do that, I guarantee you, but he did that. But here's the problem: they're coming over, as you know, between the ports and not on the roads and not in vehicles to be shut down, and so that's a big problem. That's interesting, but that would be the whole state, though, not just the border, right?
Right, yeah, you close the whole, and that would, the whole state would include the border because that's what it's saying.
Yeah, although they would still come. They would still come over the border, even though, we don't. I saw some video, but I like that you're being, and maybe you're onto something about closing the whole state, but I don't know how that would all work. But hey, I'm glad you found that. And I appreciate you sharing that. Ken, I got a roll, but I appreciate you. Hey, coming up next, Trump gets a bad verdict today, $83.3 million that he supposedly has to pay for this absolute crazed nutbag woman who said, do you remember what she said? On the Anderson Cooper Live, it was so bad he froze and went to commercial. She said, do you remember what she said? Rape is sexy. That's the Nimrod twit who is, and she's definitely like loony. She said some other crazy things that Trump tweeted out today and the other day I'm going to share with you. But we're going to talk about what you think about the $83.3 million verdict against Trump today from crazy leftists. 800-288-WBAP. We'll get into that coming up next. 800-288-9227. It's Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. Donald J. Trump in a moment on $83.3 million verdict here, 83.3. But first, we do have some breaking information coming in from Governor Abbott's interview this evening with Tucker Carlson on Twitter, which I tweeted. You can find it on my Twitter feed at Chris Crock Show. Follow me. Be one of the 9,000 plus listeners who follow me on Twitter at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, CHRISKROK. And be one of the 9,400 people to follow me on Facebook at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, CHRISKROK. Now, some breaking info. Texas Governor Abbott has confirmed with Tucker tonight that we are, in Texas, we are prepared. If Biden federalizes the National Guard, we are prepared. Here's what we're going to do. He told Tucker, if he does this, if he takes over our guard, he has other armed law enforcement personnel standing guard on the border. He also confirms that other reinforcements are coming from other states. We are going to freaking hold the line. This is a battle, and we're going to win. You want to chime in on that? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Now, Trump ordered to pay $83.3 million total after he denied allegations of raping this crazed woman in the 90s. Do you believe this? Do you believe this at all? I don't believe this. This is the woman who said rape is sexy. Trump also tweeted out what she said on Truth Social last week, posting images of this nut job's tweets dating back to 2015. And one image, this complete crazed lunatic lady said, "How do you know you're unwanted?" Listen to this. She said in a tweet, she said in 2015, "How do you know your unwanted sexual advance is unwanted until you advance it?" This is the woman that claims Trump, and by the way, he was not found liable for rape. He was found liable for sexual abuse and defamation. She claims that that the president at the time in the 90s, she didn't even know when it happened. Sometime, quote unquote, in 96, 27 years ago. And she doesn't even know what the date was or when. She claims he sexually assaulted her in some way or sexually abused her in a fitting room or a changing room. He's like, I don't know who this woman is. And when you tweet stuff, when you're on Tucker, when you were on Anderson Cooper last year, and you say rape is sexy, and to which he looked at it and he's like, what the hell? And he went to a break. It's unbelievable. If we were a CNN affiliate, God help us, I would play it, but we can't because we're not. But Trump said, she said in one tweet, "How do you know your unwanted sexual advance is unwanted until you advance it?" This woman's the one who's saying that he was sexually inappropriate with him in a fitting room. Are you kidding me? The woman who also said rape is sexy last year on fake news CNN? Do you believe her? Do you believe this crap? Here's my questions for you. Do you feel Trump is actually guilty in this? And is it a ploy by Democrats to slap another name on him like rapist, liar, and to hurt his campaign? How long do you think, or I should say, how low do you think Democrats will go on this or could go on this? Some of the Democrats and the media people, I should say, on the news shows have brought up the A word, which I'm not going to say on the air about a former president and a possible next president, the A word that rhymes with procrastination. It's A, and then it rhymes with procrastination. You know, you don't say that word in the same sentence as a president sitting or former or running. So how long do you think the Democrats, how low could they go? Some have even said in news shows, brought up the A word. So this is insane. So how low do you think they will go? I mean, this is one of many things they're doing. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Chime in right now on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. This woman, E. Carroll, this freaking nut loon bin, claims that she got $83.3 million after he says she denied that he raped her in the 90s. He wasn't convicted of rape. Why is he in trouble for saying I didn't rape her? He said absolutely ridiculous. I fully disagree with both verdicts, among many other things. He also said this is not America. He has repeatedly and vehemently, Trump has denied the allegation, Fox News says tonight. His denial resulted in her slapping him with a defamation lawsuit. So, he didn't rape her. I believe him. And he can't say I didn't rape her without her getting money out of him? You know what? He has billions of dollars. He's a billionaire many times over. So you know what? For him, I almost think it's like, screw you. If you juice me and you get some money on me for your fraud, you lunatic, so be it. But I ain't going to stop. And nor should he. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Do you feel Trump is guilty, and is it a ploy by Democrats to slap another name on him like rapist and liar like they do in the fake news media recently? I saw it, and I'm like, he's not a rapist. He was not convicted of that, nor was he found guilty of that. Armandina in Arlington. You're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Armandina.
Yes, I just want to put out there in the ether. Now, these charges that President Trump has been accused of should have some sort of statute of limitations. It was something that happened in the 90s.
It's not a criminal trial. It's a civil trial, so therefore, apparently there's no statute of limitations on it.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. Oh, okay. Because then the other thing that was coming across my mind was something about that I heard that a law was rewritten in order for them to go after him, but that would be called ex post facto, which... Yes,
ex post facto, you can't... He's been grandfathered and you can't pass a law that go backwards, yeah. Ex post facto is Latin for after the fact, yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
But it's because it's a civil case. It's all like, good that they
civil bar is much lower than the criminal bar, and the civil bar apparently, I don't know New York law, but the civil bar is much lower across the board in any state anywhere in this country. But the statute of limitations on that, there may not be one in the state of New York. I don't know, but obviously it worked. And you have a jury in a state and in the city that can't stand the man, at least 60% of them apparently, or 55% of them. So you got a perfect jury pool. So
exactly, yeah. It's 83 million. 83 million is crazy insane. I mean, Okay, that's what I just wanted to bring up.
Well, I'm glad you called in at that, Armandina. I appreciate your call very much. Look forward to your next one out of Arlington, okay?
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a great night. All right, 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. I'll tell you what happened when he took the stand at some point, and I'm going to play a little audio. Alina Hava, his lawyer, stormed out with him, and I'm going to play a little bit from that press conference she had late today after they walked out. That's up next. Plus, UT has eliminated a scholarship for illegals because we passed our DEI bill, which is fantastic. We'll get into that next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.